All right, picture this. You're standing in your driveway, staring at that shiny piece of metal that's supposed to be this ultimate symbol of freedom, success, the American dream. But what if I told you that beautiful machine parked right outside your house isn't just transportation? In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the data and reveal how that vehicle is actually a wealth-destroying monster, literally devouring your financial future one monthly payment at a time. So what exactly is this silent, wealth-destroying monster? Well, most people think their biggest expenses are, say, their mortgage, maybe their kids' college tuition, or let's be real, those overpriced lattes and avocado toasts everyone loves to complain about. But they are dead wrong. I want you to completely rethink your biggest expenses today. Because the real culprit holding back your net worth, it's sitting right there in your garage, and it's depreciating faster than your motivation on a Monday morning. Section 1. The trillion-dollar car trap. Okay, get ready, because here's a statistic that should absolutely make your jaw hit the floor. Americans currently owe over $1.6 trillion in auto loans. Yes, you heard me right, that is trillion with a T. To put that into perspective, that staggering figure is literally larger than the entire GDP of most countries. We're talking about roughly 1 out of every 3 Americans carrying a car payment right now. We've somehow been conditioned to accept this massive financial self-destruction and just casually call it adulting. And just look at the terrifying spike we've seen in only 5 years. Back in 2019, the average was hovering around $467. Fast forward to 2024, the average payment for a new vehicle has skyrocketed to $745 a month. I mean, that's more than some people pay for rent. Even used cars are averaging $521. And here is the truly absurd reality of it all. The average auto loan term is now stretching out to almost 69 months. You're committing to nearly 6 years of payments for something that's mathematically guaranteed to drop in value every single month you own it. It's like, I don't know, it's like signing up for a gym membership where they promise you'll get weaker and more out of shape every time you visit. Just crazy. And this trend is especially dangerous for younger generations. Gen Z is currently spending around 20% of their after-tax income on vehicle expenses alone. 20%. That is dangerously close to what financial experts recommend you spend on keeping an actual roof over your head. Imagine telling someone they should spend as much on their car as they do on housing. When you frame it like that, it just sounds insane, doesn't it? Section 2. The true cost of ownership. According to the American Automobile Association, the total cost to own and operate a new vehicle is over $12,000 every single year. When you really break down these statistics, over $1,000 completely vanishes every single month into an automotive black hole. Because that massive monthly payment we talked about, that is just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about gas eating up over $2,000 a year, insurance pushing $2,400, and maintenance and repairs draining another $1,500. And by the way, that's assuming nothing major even goes wrong. You're pouring all this cash into a depreciating asset without building a single dime of equity. But let's be honest, the true wealth killer here is depreciation. A brand new car loses up to 20% of its value the absolute second you drive it off the dealership lot. Literally. Before you've even made it home to show it off to the neighbors, you've already lost thousands of dollars. It's like watching your hard-earned money evaporate in real time. And it doesn't stop there. After 5 years, most cars lose up to 60% of their original value. To really drive this point home, let's look at some specific luxury vehicles. A Maserati Quattroporte, for example, loses an average of $90,000 from its original sticker price in just 5 years. 90 grand. That's more than most people make in a whole year, just gone, completely vanished into thin air simply because someone wanted a shiny status symbol for their grocery runs. The Cadillac Escalade loses nearly $64,000. And hey, even the BMW 5 Series Hybrid, which is supposedly the smarter, more economical choice, drops nearly $38,000. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet, folks. This is very real, very aggressive wealth destruction. Section 3. Missing out on millions. All right, let's run some numbers that might just make you question your past financial decisions. It's really all about opportunity cost, what your money could have done for you if you hadn't trapped it inside a depreciating metal box. Let's compare a Toyota Corolla to a Range Rover over 5 years. The Corolla costs about $27,000 to own and operate in that time, while the Range Rover, that sets you back a whopping $118,000. Now, most people see that massive $90,000 gap and just think, well, yeah, the Range Rover is a fancier, more expensive car, but they are completely missing the real story here. Because check this out. If you take that $90,000 difference and just invest it at a super conservative 6% return for 30 years, you end up with over $500,000, $521,000 to be exact. That is the actual, true cost of choosing the fancier car.
You aren't just spending an extra 90 grand up front, you are literally giving up $500,000 in potential compounding wealth.
And honestly, it gets even worse because most people don't just buy one car in their lifetime, right? If you consistently upgrade to a new car every 5 years throughout your working life, just following typical buying patterns, the lifetime opportunity cost of those decisions is nearly $1.9 million. Think about that for a second. You are literally costing yourself almost $2 million in missed wealth-building opportunities just because society programmed you to constantly chase the newest model.
Oh, and we definitely can't forget about the vicious cycle of leasing. I mean, it is a brilliant industry scam. You are literally renting a depreciating asset. You're paying someone else to lose money on depreciation while you build absolutely zero equity. Then, when the lease is finally up, you hand the keys back with nothing to show for all those payments except, some nice memories. And then, you just sign a brand new lease and start the financial bleeding all over again. Section 4. Escaping the status trap. So why do we keep falling for this? Well, dealerships and banks have engineered an entire ecosystem specifically designed to separate you from your money. They train you to focus entirely on that monthly payment instead of the total cost of the vehicle. They use these sneaky 0% financing tricks. They happily extend your loan terms to make crazy expensive cars seem affordable. And they will gladly, and I mean gladly, roll your negative equity from your last terrible car deal right into a new one. They aren't selling reliable transportation anymore. They're selling a lifestyle so we can impress people we probably don't even like. But look at how the truly wealthy actually behave. Warren Buffett? He drove the exact same Cadillac for 8 years. Mark Cuban proudly drove a 1999 BMW for years after he became a billionaire. The true role models of wealth understand one fundamental truth. Transportation is a tool. It's not an investment, and it is certainly not a status symbol. Section 5. The used car wealth strategy. This all really comes down to systematically dismantling the excuses we use to justify taking on bad debt, especially the classic safety and reliability excuse. Look, a 5-year-old Toyota Camry with 60,000 miles is going to be just as reliable as a brand new one straight off the assembly line. But look at the difference here. One costs 35 grand and handcuffs you to 6 long years of payments and interest. The other? It costs $15,000, which you can realistically save up for and pay in cash. The utility is identical, but the financial impact is totally night and day. Choosing the reliable used vehicle over the expensive new one is step 1 to maximizing your savings and truly accelerating your personal wealth. And that brings us to the ultimate wealth accelerator. When you add up the massive car payment, the higher insurance premiums, the maintenance, and the gas, you are easily spending $1,200 a month just on transportation. But if you drove a reliable, paid-off used car and instead invested that $1,200 a month at an 8% return over 30 years, you would have over $1.4 million in retirement savings. Let that sink in. Compounding returns easily overcome automotive depreciation losses, but only if you actually invest that money instead of handing it over to a dealership. Ultimately, what this used car strategy buys you isn't just a bigger bank account. It's financial freedom. It's that incredible psychological peace of mind that comes with owning a completely paid-off car. Without a car payment breathing down your neck, you finally have options. You can take career risks, you can invest aggressively, and you can actually sleep well at night knowing you aren't financially handcuffed to a depreciating liability. You are buying the one thing money can actually purchase, and that's freedom. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. The next time you're sitting in a dealership lobby and you're getting tempted by that new car smell and those soft premium leather seats, stop and ask yourself, will your car serve you or will it enslave you? Are you going to choose a boring, reliable path to millionaire status, or are you going to remain trapped in a shiny financial nightmare? The choice is entirely up to you.